What's up, everybody? How we doing today? Let me lower this. I hope you guys are having a great day. I am here to share some more good information about how to work on your real estate business. Today, we're going to check out a live stream replay with Chuck and Angela Fazio. So I just wanted to share a little bit and help the real estate community while everybody's kind of stuck, a little bit slow. So I'm going to get this started here. Check it out. Feel free to throw some comments in the question area or questions in the comment area and message me if you need anything.
Chuck and Angela Fazio have overseen over 40,000 homes sold and over $9 billion in production. They grew one of the largest real estate brokerages in the country. They're members of RIS Media's Billionaires Club, Swanepool's Mega 1000. They're five-star authors and international speakers. Here are Chuck and Angela Fazio.
All right, excellent, guys. We're excited here to bring you some valuable information to drive your business through the roof. And quite honestly, we've been teaching this, for like 15, 20 years now. And it hasn't changed. It's the basics of working your center of influence, your database, past clients, those type of things. You know, one thing I always ask agents, if there was a way that somebody can gather data for you to say, this is exactly how you need to run your business, would that be valuable to you? The answer should be yes.
Right.
But honestly, there is. And NAR every year puts out this thing called Profile of the Home Buyers and Sellers every year. So what they're doing is they're taking all this information and they're saying to us agents, hey guys, this is what works. This is what the people out there are expecting. So I'm going to go over some of these statistics every year. In 2019, stats just came out. So here's what they did. They compiled the data speaking to buyers and sellers in last year. And here's what they say. Out of buyers, 89% of buyers used an agent. Well, that's a great thing. If you're worried about, hey, do we still need agents? Absolutely they do. And they need us more than ever. But here's some statistics that you really want to understand and dive in on. It says 41% used an agent that was referred to them, 41%, and 12% used an agent they used before. It's almost 50% of all agents were either referred by or used an agent that used before. Now, here's a stat that absolutely every year blows me away. It says that 75% only contacted one agent.
Wow.
And it said 87% would recommend and use their agent again. So 50% were referred and said they would use an agent, yet 87% said they would use their agent again. So either these people are a bunch of liars or we don't do a good job of following up on our past clients. That's a big stat that needs to jump out of most agents. Now let's talk about sellers. Sellers basically said that 87% would recommend their agent out, and that 66% got their agent by a referral, and 75% only interviewed one agent. Guys, if you really understood these stats, what these stats are saying, and every year it's almost consistently the same thing. Here's what home buyers and sellers are saying. They love their agent. They love their agent. Matter of fact, they love their agent so much that not only will they use them again, but they will refer them out. They tell their friends and family members. And here's the crazy stat. Only 4% of all real estate agents actually work their database correctly. 4%. The numbers are staggering.
When you say correctly, is that something you're going to elaborate on?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, there is. You know, most agents out there will say most of their business comes from referrals.
Right.
And quite honestly, most of the referrals these agents get is just because people like them.
Yeah.
And it's because they're like, okay, yep, I know my agent. I mean, look at the stats clearly show that most business is done through referrals and past client. Not all, but most.
Right.
But here's what agents do. And this is what blows me away.
Yeah.
Agents, they'll go do all their prospecting. And look, I got nothing against prospecting or working internet leads. And they spend all their time and energy to meet complete strangers.
Yeah.
And then what they do is they got to get three things. They got to get them to know them,
right,
like them, and then trust them.
Yeah.
And that's what they work on. It's like courting. You know, it's kind of funny. It's like most marriages out there.
Right.
All this time courting their wives, and once they're married, they like neglect them.
Not my.
Not you.
But that's the sad part. Most people are like that.
Yeah.
They spend all their time in wooing them and winning them over. So that's real estate agents.
Right.
They're good at that. They're good at that sales.
Oh, yeah.
So here's what they do. They spend all this time, money, energy on working on the small slice of the pie, because I just gave you the stats.
Right.
They get them. They find them a home. These people are going, oh my gosh, I love you. I'm going to refer everybody out to you.
Yeah.
You know how many times people say, give me a stack of the business cards, right?
Yeah.
And they used to say that, and crickets.
Right.
Well, the problem is you have to be extremely intentional with just the way you're intentional at building the relationship. You have to be extremely intentional at maintaining and further building that relationship over time to gain the huge reward that you can get from being intentional with referral business.
Yeah, so most agents, you know, they did a decent job, and most agents will get referred and get the follow-up and maybe the sale again.
Right.
But here's the part that just dumbfounds me. They don't work them intentionally after the fact.
Right.
After the deal closes.
So
Why
do you think agents spend so much time on the phone, those man hours dialing, buying new lead sources when they can be working their center of influence?
Well, our experience has said a couple of different things. First of all, it takes effort to organize yourself, get the systems together, the process and the procedure. It takes effort to get yourself organized. You have to be intentional. And a lot of times we get so busy that we don't take the time to put those processes in place. But guess what? We have time right now.
Yeah, and you know what, Nick, to answer your question, a lot of trainers and mentors out there who really aren't that successful in the business, that's what they're telling them to do. You know, like I said, this profile NAR puts out every year, you know, most real estate agents don't even know it exists.
Yeah.
They don't even know it exists.
I haven't really heard anybody talk about it besides you right now.
Yeah. And this is buyers and sellers telling you this is what we want from you agents.
Yeah.
So the intentional part goes by the wayside, and then they spend, like I said, their time, energy, and money on the smaller slice of the pie.
Yeah.
So by accident, they may get some business, but not intentionally. And we're going to talk about some of the key points.
Right. So last week I taught a class that is recorded that is comprehensive about this whole, we only have 30 minutes today, but a comprehensive class about all of the steps to build this process and procedure and implement it in your business. But today we want to focus on a couple of things, because in a whole process and procedure, you need to be emailing, you need to be on social media, there's phone calls, there's personal visits, there's things that you send through the mail. It's very, very comprehensive to do it well. Today, we want to talk about more of the personal touches in terms of calls and other personal touches, since we all seem to be in this position where people are kind of cooped up and the personal touches can be focused on.
Do you feel cooped up?
I really don't, actually. So we'll go over a couple of those things. I know Chuck's going to talk about a system, which you've got to have, and we'll talk about that as well. But let's just start with who is your center of influence? Your center of influence are the people who know you at some level. They've either used you, they've referred you, or they know you well enough and they've said, I would use or refer you.
Right.
And they said, keep in contact with me in a meaningful way. So again, I can send all the details of the entire procedure, but let's talk about phone calls. We have time right now to make some extremely meaningful phone calls. Now, when you have a comprehensive procedure and process, you're going to make all kinds of phone calls, including extremely intentional business phone calls. That's part of the system for sure. But today, what I want to talk about are what are some of the other types of phone calls that you can do right now. So when you're working your center of influence, you really have 4 goals. You are keeping in contact with them to build a relationship or further the relationship. You are conditioning them to see you as a valuable resource.
Right.
You're conditioning them to remember that you're in real estate and you like to work with buyers and sellers and renters and whatever you do.
Yeah.
And also along the way, you are building their confidence in you as a person and as a professional. So when you make phone calls, like I'm going to suggest right now in this time, to make a personal contact with them, what can you talk about? So let's give some examples.
Okay.
I could call somebody right now and I get my whole database and I could just find out, get on the phone call, say, how are you doing? What do you need?
Right.
What can I do for you? And I might not have all the answers. I definitely won't have all the answers. I don't have that much toilet paper.
Yeah.
But I can find out.
Yeah.
But I can find out, what are you doing with your kids? Or what
Right.
do you have a business that you're trying to work from home that we can support you on? Would you like to, I went out there and I found out all the restaurants that do takeout. Would you like me to tell you about those restaurants? So now I'm building a relationship with restaurant owners or managers and getting that information, and I'm delivering it to my clients to help them have some information that might make this a little easier for them.
Yeah, one of the things that I think we take for granted or just oversee is the little things. And right now, I think people are starting to realize the little things in life are important. Just to call someone up and said, I'm thinking of you.
I love that.
Powerful.
Yeah.
It's those little words. And I'm going to tell you, I learned that firsthand. As owners, brokers, we get bombarded by vendor partners,
Right.
companies, home warranty vendors.
Yeah.
A home warranty person reached out to me
Okay.
and just said, I just want to let you know I'm thinking of you. And my initial reaction was, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think when stuff comes back around, do you think I'm going to be seeking her out to get her more business?
Oh, yeah.
Do. And she's not even one of my preferred partners.
Yeah.
Which is mind-blowing.
Right, and I even think you can take that a step further to really exacerbate that phone call. Is if I say, I'm thinking of you, I hope you're doing okay, that's good, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if I say, hey, I'm thinking of you, and let's just talk about how you're doing. Give me some information. So, because if I'm talking to this mom, and then I go and I talk to that mom, and I find out this one has all kinds of resources to help her kids, and this one doesn't. Guess what? I'm going to hop on a Zoom call with the two of them, and I'm going to put them in touch with each other.
Yeah.
Or I find out somebody's at home and they are a social media specialist. And I find out one business owner is like, gee, I wish I understood how to get myself out there on social media.
Right.
I'm going to hop on a Zoom call and I'm going to connect these people.
I think that's great, because the one thing that we've been saying is the difference between a contact and a contract is the R, and that's that relationship that you build. If you want to take it to that next step, it's the relationship you build with each party.
Right.
Absolutely. Going out of your way intentionally. And what I tell agents, they're going, well, I get business through referrals. You know what I say to them? Are they working their database? And most of them say no. Or they'll say, I send an email out once a month. And I go, well, how is that email?
Yeah.
Would you believe some of them go, I don't even know what it looks like.
Wow.
That's it.
Right.
And some of them even say, well, it's, I said, would you read it? And they're like, no. So why would your clients think that?
Exactly.
So I want to jump in quickly to say, well, what people say, well, what do you use as a database?
Well, right before you jump into that, the importance of using a system is if I'm having even 10 conversations, I'm likely to forget the content of those conversations. So Chuck's going to talk about this. You have to understand the reason is to organize yourself and make sure that you're intentional with the way that you're capturing information.
So you should have one with me so you can remember our conversation.
I should every single day.
Right.
That's the worst memory ever.
Right.
I'm going to put that in front of you. Anyway, so
This is recorded, by the way, so you can use that later. Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
So there's two different types of CRM systems. There's what I call the simple CRM systems.
Right.
These are products like Wise Agent, Sharper Agent, Lion's Desk, Top Producer,
Right.
Contractually. No, it's contactually.
Yeah.
There you go.
Put the R in there for
Yeah, I
relationship.
put
Right,
the
for that relationship, right?
There you go. I just started a new product.
Right.
So the simple ones, now they're better than doing nothing. I'm not a big fan of them because all they are is they're just a database management system as compared to the digital platforms. These are the ones that are attached to like where they could search for homes. So products like Market Leader or Boomtown or Sync or KV Core, which is our favorite.
Yeah.
KV Core is really an incredible system.
Right.
Which we have. So those are the type of systems you want. And Angela's correct that you want to have it where you're taking notes in it, setting up follow-ups, because don't think you're going to remember it all. You make a call, take a note, set up a follow-up, and that's how you start building on your database, so that when you call your database, you look at the notes prior, your conversations start to become easier, because you bring up something that was talked a month ago.
Right.
And the crazy thing is your clients are going to be extremely impressed. Clients always want to feel like they're the only ones. And I think our biggest compliments, we used to sell a lot of real estate.
Right.
And our biggest compliments is when our clients would always say this to us. They go, you make us feel like we're your only clients. And yet we know how busy you are.
Right.
Yeah.
That's powerful. You know, I think our car service dealership does that to you.
Shout out to Culture Infinity around here, because they have a database. They clearly have a database management. So I'll call for service, and the guy will always bring up something from our last conversation. I know very well that he just took notes, and I'm not that memorable.
Right.
But that he took the time to take
It's
the
still
note.
impressive.
Yep.
Right.
I know he took the time to take the note, put it into the system, and then refer to it. Is a big deal. It means they care. They're taking steps to care.
We go out of our way to send them business because they do it. So firsthand, we understand this work in your database, how important it really is.
And phone calls should always be, and this is really comprehensive, but I'll just give a little hint. It should be all like a web with all of the other things that you're using. So, for example, you can use adding value as a reason to make a phone call. This time of year in Arizona, we need to get our ACs tuned up or whatever before all the heat comes on us. You know, if I'm sending out an email and in the subject line it says Angela Fazio says tune up your AC before summer comes, and then I use the phone call to follow up and just say, I just want to remind you that it's time to get your AC service. That's just the intro to a phone call that can be like, hey, how are you doing? You know, so now I'm offering values and I'm having a conversation and then I'm making notes about what they say. And then in social media, I can find out this is happening in their family. I can call up instead of private messaging. I can call up and have a personal conversation. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a couple of good little tips. Because she just talked about social media. But before we jump into social media, when you're doing the emails, make sure your subject line is good. Because it's not about them always reading your email or responding to your phone call, because the other thing people say is, do you leave messages? Absolutely. It's the contact. It's that they read the subject line, and the subject line at least says they were thinking of me.
So with the subject line, so you're thinking of them, do you make it individual for each person, or how do you can you define a good subject line? Is there like a process you guys follow?
And it's a lot to go. I'll give you a little hint about it. In my opinion, the highest and best use of email is just a reminder of your name connected with something. And normally it's like, Angela Fazio, open house this Saturday. Angela Fazio listed a new home. I don't really care if they open it. If they're looking at my subject line and they're number one thinking of me and my name and connecting it with something valuable, whether it's showing them I'm working, I'm doing open houses, I'm listing homes, I'm selling homes, I'm doing whatever I'm doing, or I'm giving them some information that if they oh, look, they're trying to help me. They may not need it. If they need it, they'll open it. But otherwise, they're just seeing my name next to something valuable or real estate related.
So I'm going to give a social media tip here. So this is a good social media tip on how do you work your database. So number one is, yes, friend your people in your database. Find them, friend them. But here's what a lot of agents do. They post, which is okay. But I'm going to turn that around, turn the tables a little bit. Just because the algorithms in Facebook, not everybody's seeing your post. So here's what I challenge you to do. Take 10 or 15 minutes twice a day and find your people in your database, go to their page and comment. Because when you comment on something about their family, what they're doing, they always see that. You don't have to worry about did they see my post. So you're making it a point to comment, and it tags them, so it flags them you made a comment. And 9 out of 10 times when you comment on somebody's post, they're going to respond back at least. Thank you, how you doing? And that way, when you consistently do that with all the people in your database and jump onto their timelines, wow, you are going to be top of mind awareness in your mind because you're going out of your way to make yourself known.
Don't forget. I mean, we're talking about like this much of it, and you can be so good at this, and it's not difficult. It's actually enjoyable. If it's just the difficult part is taking the time to get organized, taking the time to put the systems in place, to schedule it on your calendar so it gets done. The rest of it is actually, because I always say to people, if you're about to pick up your phone to call somebody in your database, this is my phone, by the way. And you're like, I don't want to call that person.
It's a weird looking phone.
Thanks. You're like feeling like I don't want to call that person. They shouldn't even be on your database anyway. These should be people that you don't mind calling. You don't mind having a conversation. You want to pour into. So this can be really fun. I'm
going to give you my golden nugget here. This is my $1 million. This is my money maker.
All right.
You do this, and you will. I guarantee you're going to see a difference in your database.
Is it me?
Yeah.
So you ready? Here it is.
All right.
It's touching someone with a personal level that has nothing to do with real estate. So I learned this when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was like maybe 9, 10 years old.
Right.
My father's insurance guy used to send me a birthday card every year.
Really?
Agents do that. They send out birthday cards.
Right.
I'm going to tell you the problem with it because I'm scarred for life. So every year, so now as a kid, when you get a birthday card from somebody, from grandma or grandpa, or what do you expect in it?
Money.
Something of value.
You're right.
So I never forget the first time I got a birthday card. And I'm like, all righty.
Let's get it. Yeah.
In it. And there was nothing in it. Nothing. And it was from my dad's insurance agent, and it said, "Happy birthday." And I said, "Are you kidding me?"
You're almost even more mad that he even said it to you. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Like, I thought worse of this guy. And here's what we do.
Right.
We send out these canned birthday cards. Yeah. People know it. Oh, happy birthday. Now,
like from your dentist, everyone in the office is so sign.
You ready? I'm going to put a spin on it.
All right, let's
so before I put the spin on, I'm going to keep you waiting.
Thank you.
You want to make sure you get personal information from your clients and do not wait for after the closing because they won't give it to you. Good luck chasing them down. So what we did was we worked with certain title companies. So they have a form that they fill out. So as they're filling out their closing documents, we put this form in front of them, and it's for us with all personal information, date of birth, the kid's date of birth, blah, blah, goes along. So we have all the information. Now what we do is when we see the birthday coming up in our database, we flag it 5 days prior to someone's birthday.
Right.
That's the birthday card reminder. We
All
take
right.
the birthday card, we handwrite it, and we take a dollar scratcher. I'm going to tell you,
So simple, but yeah.
it is a huge deal.
Yeah.
We have clients who'd be like,
Well, no, don't go into
Don't tell me. Yeah.
So I would go to the store and look for the fun-looking ones.
Yeah.
And I would even get a couple of $5 ones. Those are for my good clients.
Right.
And you would throw a dollar scratcher in there. And it's like you were giving them $1 million.
Yeah.
People would open these cards up and you set yourself apart. Now, here's the cool thing.
Right.
Now, on their birthday, you call them. You call them, and so they got the dollar scratcher, they got the birthday card. You follow up with a phone call, and I can't tell you how many people would be like, "Oh my gosh, I got your birthday card, the dollar scratcher, and I won $10."
Right.
Like, great.
Better if you just send them a $20 bill. Winning $10. Yeah.
I'm telling you,
it is so popular.
So here's a follow-up story.
Okay.
To how powerful that is.
Right.
So a client of mine before I met Angela in the business, I would do this.
Yeah.
And there was a little kid when I first met him. He was like 4 years old.
Okay.
So I would send him his birthday card with a dollar scratcher.
Yeah.
5 years old, he's getting a dollar scratcher.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's gambling. Who cares? But so about 4 years later, we when we were working together, we understood really how to work the database, and we were doing pop buys. That means go past someone's house.
Right.
So it was Christmas time. We would have bun cakes, and we showed up to this client's house. Now, mind you, these were my clients before we met, so they never met Angela.
Right.
And the kid was 4 years old then, so.
All right, looks like the internet might be lagging a little bit, so I'm going to let this run for a minute, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. They're almost done. We've got about 3-4 minutes left. I'm going to hit pause and then replay it in a second. But this is Chuck and Angela. Excellent salespeople running a great brokerage. They have a brokerage of over 900 agents, and they're just top of the game here in real estate. So I'm going to try to get this to finish up, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. Let me stop sharing for a second. All right, so let's see if that helps. All right, so if you guys got questions on this, just shoot them in the comments. We're going to pick it up as soon as it starts playing here. If not, we'll get access to the replay for everybody that's watching. And I'm going to be doing these once a day until basically I think I have about 14 of them left. So I'm going to do one a day, 30 minutes at a time. And, I just wanted to share this with the real estate community, everybody who's out there looking to learn. I'm seeing them. There's tons of masterminds and groups holding trainings on this, that, the next. But they're long days and stuff like that. So that's why I wanted to break this down into 30-minute segments for everybody so that it's easier to digest it, take some good notes, start implementing it in your business, and really just a couple nuggets from each presentation that we have here. 30 minutes to me is enough time for you to take a break and learn it. Looks like this isn't going to run correctly right now.
So before
Here we go.
spin on, I'm going to keep you waiting.
All right, so I'm going to let this finish out. I had to back it up a minute. Hopefully it'll run through. And let's see.
Someone's birthday.
Right.
That's the birthday card reminder. We take the birthday card, we handwrite it, and we take a dollar scratcher. I'm going to tell you,
So simple, but yeah.
it is a huge deal.
Yeah.
We have clients who'd be like,
Well, no, don't go into it.
Don't tell them yet. Yeah.
So I would go to the store and look for the fun-looking ones.
Yeah.
And I would even get a couple of $5 ones. Those are for my good clients.
Right.
And you would throw a dollar scratcher in there, and it's like you were giving them $1 million.
Yeah.
People would open these cards up, and you set yourself apart. Now, here's the cool thing.
Right.
Now, on their birthday, you call them. You call them, and so they got the dollar scratcher, they got the birthday card. You follow up with a phone call, and I can't tell you how many people would be like, "Oh my gosh, I got your birthday card, the dollar scratcher, and I won $10."
Right.
Like, great.
Better if you just send them a $20 bill. Winning $10. Yeah.
I'm telling you,
it is so popular.
So here's a follow-up story.
Okay.
To how powerful that is.
Right.
So one of a client of mine before I met Angela in the business, I would do this.
Yeah.
And there was a little kid when I first met him. He was like 4 years old.
Okay.
So I would send him his birthday card with a dollar scratcher.
Yeah.
5 years old, he's getting a dollar scratcher.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's gambling. Who cares? But so about 4 years later, we when we were working together, we understood really how to work the database, and we were doing pop buys. That means go past someone's house.
Right.
So it was Christmas time. We would have bun cakes, and we showed up to this client's house. Now, mind you, these were my clients before we met, so they never met Angela.
Right.
And the kid was 4 years old then, so.
All right, guys. Looks like the stream is not going to finish up for us today. So I'm going to post a link to where you can watch this and a bunch of other ones. So I hope this was helpful to your real estate business. If I can ever help you, reach out, set some time up, send me a personal message, and I'll be glad to help you. All right, everybody have a great day. Talk to you.